see the change, the tone, but they couldn't handle that. Nope, they couldn't handle that. If they really knew the fact, yeah, they really don't know. To have a gift, it is a curse. To be the light, you must feel the burn. Given the power to move a tide, to move a tide, not shake the sea.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and happy new year, okay? This channel we discuss popular mainstream music, and in this video we're going to be discussing Doechii versus Ice Spice, hip hop's colorism politics, okay? This is Doechii versus Ice Spice, hip hop's colorism politics. Now, before we get into this, if you enjoyed the little snippet of music in the beginning of this video, that is my music, guys. Check it out. Okay, I'm a music artist too. All you have to do is type my name, Sam Dolphin, in the YouTube search bar, and my music will certainly pop up. You can also listen to my music on all music streaming platforms such as Spotify and Apple Music, so definitely check it out, guys. I'd really appreciate it. So getting back to the video, this is Doechii versus Ice Spice, hip hop's colorism politics, okay? And I really wanted to make this video because Doechii and Ice Spice contrast each other so much. When it comes to female hip hop artists, these two women couldn't contrast each other more. They're literally polar opposites. And recently, Ice Spice has done a freestyle that has gone viral and has gotten a lot of talk, not necessarily for the best reasons, okay? It's not necessarily the best rap, we've heard. And she's been getting lots of criticism on her talent and her abilities. Whereas Doechii's been getting a lot of talk, Grammy nominations. She's been doing some really iconic performance at the Stephen Colbert show, Genius that she did with Issa Rae. She's been getting a lot of talk for her talent. And it's so interesting because I'm looking at these two girls and I'm looking at female hip hop, and these girls contrast each other so much, and I think their journeys and how they polarize is so interesting and really connects to the colorism politics that go on in hip hop, okay, when you just compare their journeys. And I think this is a really interesting discussion, and to bring these two polarizing artists to compare and contrast and have this discussion. Now, if you know in hip hop, okay, there is a colorism issue, especially when it comes to female hip hop artists. Now, before we even had female MCs, okay, and hip hop artists, a lot of times, a lot of this colorism was shown through the male artists in their music videos, the video vixens, the main girls. They were always the lighter skinned girls. There was always a favoritism for the lighter skinned girls. And as we get deeper into the industry and we've seen a bunch of female hip hop artists come out, you can still see these colorism hip hop politics, okay, where the girls with the lighter skin complexion get the bigger push, where the darker skinned girls have to work harder and they don't get the same amount of push. And I felt like Doechii and Ice Spice was a perfect example of these kind of politics that go down in the hip hop industry and how it affects female hip hop artists and female hip hop artists of now. So I think these two girls, who are literally polar opposites, are the perfect example to compare and contrast and have this conversation about the colorism politics in hip hop, especially concerning female hip hop artists. Now I'm gonna start off with Ice Spice, okay, and Ice Spice's journey, and she started off with Munch, okay. And I remember when Munch came out, it was really huge, it really exploded, she really got big. And I remember thinking like, okay, the song's okay. I definitely could tell that she wasn't much of a lyricist. Munch is a very ABC, nursery, rhymey type of rap, okay? It's not complex. And don't get me wrong, songs don't have to be that complex to be good, okay? You can have some of the most basic songs, basic lyricism, and they can be very, very, very catchy. So there's no hate on that. But I remember when the song came out and thinking, okay, this is a very basic, simple song. And I remember thinking that she wasn't really as talented lyrically. But, however, her song Munch exploded. I mean, people really gravitated towards her, and Ice Spice became like that new it girl. Despite the fact that her lyricism and her talent really wasn't much there. Now, what people would always talk about is her look. Her look, her look, her look, her look. Oh, her look, oh, her look. Oh, she's sexy. Oh, she's hot. You know, oh, she's relatable. Blah, 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 blah. And, you know, for me, I always thought, okay, you know, I always respected Ice Spice. However, I didn't think of her much as a really strong MC. I didn't think of her as, you know, a strong MC. However, she still popped off, and she got a lot of collabs and co-signs, and people just gravitated towards her. Even though her music video was very simple, her video was very simple, her song was very simple, and there wasn't much lyricism. Even when she popped out into her performances, you could tell that she needed, you know, a lot of training and help, you know. However, she blew up and exploded, and people just fell in love with Ice Spice, and a lot of it was image. Now you compare that to Doechii. When Doechii came out, Doechii came out with 2 songs, which was Persuasive and Crazy. And I remember when those songs came out, and I fell in love with those songs. I thought, oh wow, this girl is incredibly talented. Her performances were amazing. The one she did in Jimmy Fallon, incredible. Very, very, very talented. However, she did not explode. She did not explode into the scene the way Ice Spice exploded into the scene and got all these collabs and cosigns. Now, Doechii was kind of, you know, being ignored. Not really a lot of attention was given towards her. You know, she was still kind of working her way up, despite the amount of talent and potential that she shows. Okay, and this is one of the first examples that I'm talking about when it comes to these politics, when it comes to female rap. Okay, again, it's the colorism. Okay, the image. One person got all of these accolades. Okay, was even considered the princess of rap. I remember Nicki Minaj labeled Ice Spice the princess of rap. She was getting cosigns by Taylor Swift. She was getting cosigns by Nicki. Collaborations, just huge. Day after day after day, just getting bigger and bigger. And she was really the it girl, despite the fact that she wasn't much talented. And a lot of people were very aware of this. And this is why people were bringing up the whole colorism. She even got a co-sign with Drake, which really pushed and elevated her career. So despite her talent, she gets this huge push and the public gravitate towards her. Whereas on the other end, you have Doechii, who showed immense amount of talent, a lot of talent, but yet did not get this big push from the industry. She was actually kind of very much ignored in the beginning when she popped out into the mainstream. She was very much ignored, and a lot of her singles were not being given that attention. She wasn't given all of these accolades the same way as Ice Spice was. Very, very, very interesting. And then when you look at it, look at their looks. Okay, you have Ice Spice, whose look is, she's incredibly light skinned, very, very light. She's mixed. Okay, she has a completely mixed look. And then you have Doechii, who is very, very dark skinned and has a very alternative look. So one girl is super light skinned, the typical sexy thick look, and then you have another girl who's more slimmer and who's dark skinned and who has an alternative look. So just based off of image, again, the public and the industry gravitated towards Ice Spice. Okay, this is what I'm talking about with the hip-hop colorism politics. Ice Spice was the artist that they gravitate towards to. And if you looked at her look, she aligned with the politics of hip-hop, which is light-skinned and thick. Whereas Doechii is the complete opposite. Doechii is alternative and she's dark skinned, okay, and more slimmer. So very, very, very interesting. But a lot of this is politics, because as you're seeing their careers arise, the opposite is happening now. Now with Ice Spice, she has received a major dip in her career. She doesn't have the popularity that she used to have. It's not to say that her career's over, because it's absolutely not over. However, she's experienced a dip in her career, especially with the issues she's had with Cleotrapa, okay, another dark-skinned female MC rapper, okay, that kind of, and then on top of that, her music, a lot of it was sounding very much repetitive, the same, not a lot of lyricism, okay, so people started to see what Ice Spice was for, what she really was for, which was just the look for hip-hop that hip-hop glorified a lot. Again, hip-hop always put the light, thick girl on top, and that's what Ice Spice had, and that was her initial thing. And she even admitted, I think in one of her tweets herself, that she's gonna use the F out of her quote-unquote pretty privilege. Okay, and I say quote unquote because I feel like a lot of these girls are pretty. I feel like Doechii is very pretty too. I think like, again, a lot of these are just colorist politics within the hip hop community. But everyone gassed Ice Spice, everyone pushed her up, and once we realized that she could not hold up because she doesn't have the talent, the skills, the lyricism, a lot of it started trumpeting. Her relationship with Nicki Minaj after that got really exposed. That kind of fell through. Her relationship with Cleotrapa, when Cleotrapa exposed her, that fell through. So the only thing she had left, besides all the gas, all the hype, was her talent to hold her up. All the hype died. Once all that hype was being taken away with her, her major collabs, all of that stuff, even her producer who made major beats for her, which were very unique, but also just the same ones, the only thing she had that she could hang on to was her talent, which she didn't have a lot of. So as a result, you look at Ice Spice in her career, it has experienced a dip. Whilst with Doechii, you're seeing a major rise in Doechii's career. Doechii again did not get that initial attention. She didn't get all the collabs with the big artists. She didn't get that big push with her singles. But what kept Doechii alive was her talent that you could not ignore. This got her Grammy nominations, okay? Her amazing performances that she did at Stephen Colbert. Alligator Bites Never Heal. The album is absolutely impressive, amazing, has gotten so many accolades and so many attention. Kendrick literally shouted her out, okay? And this has risen. This has helped Doechii risen despite the fact that she's a dark-skinned girl and people weren't trying to push her. So looking at both of these women, one has all the looks of what hip-hop was going for, but none of the talent. So all of that was very superficial hype. Once all Ice Spice's connections and hype fell through, her talent couldn't hold her up. It was almost like she was stripped naked for what she really was. And people realized that her stuff wasn't really there. Her talent wasn't really there. She couldn't hold up performance-wise, lyrics-wise. Whereas with Doechii, she didn't get all that hype. She didn't have the look. But she had the talent, the originality. And that has held her up. It's so interesting because Ice Spice got the cosign from Drake. And you see how Drake has gone through his downfall. And Drake's very superficial. He's all about the superficiality of hip-hop. But look how that has fell through as these people gotten exposed. And now you look at Doechii, who didn't get all the initial attention but kept the consistency, kept the hard work, and has proven time and time through every performance that she is worth it. And her talent, which is incredibly unique, incredibly powerful, amazing lyricism. And now she's got the cosign by Kendrick Lamar, who ironically feuded with Drake and got rid of him. So she got the cosign by the ultimate talent, okay, which is Kendrick Lamar. So to me, when I look at this Doechii versus Ice Spice, this is also hip hop being saved in a certain type of way. This is hip hop being stripped away from all the superficiality. Okay, and the real ones, the ones who are really talented, are the ones who survive. That was kind of like 2024. It exposes hip hop for the reality of it and got rid of all the gimmicks. So the true talented ones are the ones who are able to survive, and that's why Doechii got the co-sign with Kendrick. Team Kendrick, okay, Team Real, Team Talent. So Doechii's journey went from nobody was paying attention to her to now being risen and seen as one of the top female hip-hop artists for the new generation. Now people are pushing her as gonna be one of the top ones, and now she's Grammy nominated multiple times, and she's getting a lot of accolades, and she did an incredible performance with Stephen Colbert, an incredible performance with the Genia and Issa Rae, and she is steadily rising, and now people are looking at her as the next new girl. Whereas Ice Spice is the total opposite. She got the initial rise, she got the initial tension, and now she's experiencing the dip as she got exposed. And again, Drake co-signed her, and Drake got his downfall and got exposed. Kendrick co-signed Doechii, and Kendrick literally saved and exposed hip-hop. And now you see Doechii getting her rise. Okay? So this is the politics, okay? This is the hypocritical politics of hip-hop with the colorism of female artists. Doechii is the talent. And to me, this is great news because it's just showing that hip-hop is now being stripped of all the gimmicks, and we're seeing the real talent come and take control, okay? A lot of people were talking about this, okay, especially after seeing Ice Spice's performance, her rap performance, her freestyle. I mean, it really exposed a lot, and people really were like, you know, this girl needs more talent. I mean, the rap is very ABC 1 2 3. You know, this is the truth. So what do you guys think about this? I thought this was so interesting to compare Doechii because they're literally polar opposites. I'm talking about image-wise. One is a beauty standard, one isn't. Talent-wise, one has all the complexity and originality, and one doesn't. And now that you see that their journeys, one was really pushed out there and then now is experiencing a dip, and one wasn't and now is experiencing a rise. So tell me what you guys think about Doechii versus Ice Spice. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll check you guys out on the next video.
Y'all go end up my children of the I think I've adapted to all of the cannibal savages. I feel a possession in a session. I need a Catholic to assess it. Come and dress it, then undress it. Pussy, she a get it, she get heavy. I'ma get it. I want it, then I'ma get it. He don't give it, he regret it. Coochie digging is a veteran. Come and eat this coochie dressing. I am Doechii, I am legend.